We've got here a square and a rectangle such that the side of the square is equal in length to the shorter side of the rectangle. We've got the sum of the areas of the square and rectangle is 198 and the sum of the perimeters is 80. Okay, so calculate the dimensions of the rectangle. Now they've given us they've given us nothing really, haven't they? They haven't said anything about the dimensions of the rectangle, which is what we need to work out, and they haven't said what the dimension of the square is. Okay, they've said nothing about the side. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to call the square side x. Okay, so I'm going to have to do that. And if you read this carefully, it says the side of the square is equal, is equal to the length of the shorter side of the rectangle. Okay, so basically, the shorter side of the rectangle is also going to be x, if that makes sense. Okay, because the shorter side of the rectangle is equal to the side of the square. Now we want the dimensions of the rectangle, so I want this length here. Now the length isn't going to be x, isn't it? Because it's quite specific there. It's a rectangle, and the longer side then, so we call it, say, y. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Now it says, what does it say? It says the sum of the areas of the square and rectangle is 198. Well, the sum of the areas. So if I worked out the area of the square, that'll be x times x, won't it? So that'll be x squared. And if I work out the area of the rectangle, it'll be y times x, wouldn't it? Or x times y. So the sum of them, so we add the area of this is x squared, the area of this is yx or xy. The sum of them is equal to, it says, 198. And it says then the sum of the perimeters is 80. Okay, so the sum of the perimeters. Well, if we look at the sum of the perimeters, the perimeter there is going to be, of the square is 4x, isn't it? Okay, and the perimeter there of the rectangle is going to be 2x plus 2y. Okay, so the sum of the perimeters is equal to 80. Now, what I can do with this here is sort of put the x's together, so I get 6x, plus 2y equals 80. And the other thing I can do nicely with this as well is I can divide it by 2, can't I? I could divide it by 2 because 2 is a common factor of both. 2 goes into all of them. So 6x divided by 2 is 3x. 2y divided by 2 is y. 80 divided by 2 is 40. Okay, so I've got that there. Now we've got two simultaneous equations, right? We've got an equation here, 1, and we've got a second equation here. Okay, but actually with this second equation, I could rewrite it. I could say, look, y is equal to 40 minus 3x. Yeah, I could take that 3x over to the side, okay, and make it a minus. So then, because I've got y equals something, I can then sub it in to number 1, right? So I can say, look, sub in 2 into 1. Okay, right, so basically I've got x squared there, plus xy, but y of course, y of course is this, isn't it? 40 minus 3x, and that will equal to 198. Okay, so I'm just replacing y with this, and times it by, of course. This becomes x squared plus 40x minus 3x squared. When I times out here, 40x minus 3x squared equals 198. So then simplifying that, x squared and minus 3x squared is minus 2x squared plus 40x, and take the 198 over, it's minus 198. Next thing I can do then is I can, well, I'm not happy with that's a minus there, right? So, you know, because when I want to factorize this, minus is no good. So I'll change all the signs. You're allowed to do that. So it's plus, it'll become a minus, this will become a plus. So do the opposite signs. 198. And the next thing I can do is notice 2 is a common factor. Can I see that? So I could divide by 2. Before I even begin to factorize, you can sometimes see that it's all even, so we could make the number smaller. So I could divide by 2. If I divide that by 2, I get that. Divide this by 2, I get that. And divide this by 2, I get 99. So then we need to do 2 brackets. Okay. Multiply, add. We needed to multiply to give 99 and add up to give minus 20. Now 99, I know 11 goes into 99 9 times. 11 is a good one, isn't it, for 99? And that will make minus 20, won't it? I'd have to make them both negative. And that would work, minus 20, and then multiply together. So minus 11 minus 9 equals 0. So x minus 11 equals 0, or x minus 9 equals 0. So that means x would equal 11, or x would equal to 9. So there's two possibilities here. And of course, we want the dimensions of the rectangle. So x is the shorter side, or we could have y then. Now, if we work out y, you'd have 40 take away 3x. So 40 take away 3 lots of these, which would be 33. So 40 take away 33 is 7. So those are one possible dimensions. Or put 9 in here. 40 take away 3 lots of 9, which is 27. So you get 13 there. 40 take away 27 is 13. And there's our answer.